Right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you happen to be. As you see, we have Jay out and Sid as my 2 earwigs tonight. And welcome along, everybody. Now, what I propose to do is the first one I'll be doing is how I would do them. Sid, get rid of that plastic bag. And I've got an echo behind me somewhere.
No, that was my TV come on.
Oh, right. And the first one I'll be doing is actually how I would do them in a production run. The second one I'll do completely with a skew. And the third one that I do, I'll explain as I'm going. So I'll mute my microphone in a minute and just work away while Sid or Jay reads out who's in the chat. And we'll go from there. So I'll put you two miscreants into the background. Mute the microphone.
Okay, in the chat we have Chris Dodds, Neil, Darren Carrollson, Gary Y, Dodgy J, Mark the Gentleman Woodturner, Pat Keith, Philip Clemens, Ricky's Rocket, Robocop, Robbo's in there, Steve Hawley, Wood Turning by Barry, Pete Twister's Trees is in there. Mark, did I get Mark the Gentleman Woodturner? Ray Cotty, g'day Ray. Ray's literally probably 10 kilometres away from me at the moment. He's another Kingstonite.
And Pete said, when you've done those three, what are you going to do for the next 55 minutes?
Miscreants, Darren. I thought you were praised up on that one.
Oh, it's just Pine, Mark.
It should be your Melbourne Cup type commentary here, do you reckon, Jay? Or?
Yeah, you could.
We should have got Robbo to do a practice run for us so we could work out a commentary stream for it. Coming into the home straight. Changing tools.
He's gone for the standard bag handle. Sorry, Robbo.
Production run, not artist run, Jay. I do like that rough and gouge, though. It's a proper rough. It's a bit like Crocodile Dundee. That's not a rough and gouge. This is a rough and gouge.
Yeah. I'll split it in half, eh? We'll go halvies in it.
14 watching. Smash that like button, folks. I didn't check to see how long the intro went for, Jay, did you?
No.
I would say it would have gone for at least 2 minutes, so he's nearly 2 minutes in. So that's 2 minutes in, so we've got maybe 12 minutes worth of turning, and then 48 minutes worth of chatting. Sounds like a plan?
Yep, sounds good.
Well, challenges everyone should be just working on letting Robbo know, thinking of something he can get him to make out of a bit of scrap wood when he's finished. Notice how he's already separated off the tailstock end, so he's taken it all off, separating it all out with the skew in one hit.
Yeah.
So you're out to 5 minutes, Robbo. So this one, I believe, he's going to do all with the skew.
Yeah.
So that's at 5 minutes, 12 seconds. Let's see. Let's get a time on this one, Joe.
All right. I wrote the time on my table so we don't forget.
I put it in the chat. One for Brian from watching the other night. Brian doing the V-cuts using the very point of the skew.
Yeah, there you go. Rob CP said the first one took 3 minutes.
You're 1 minute in, Robbo.
Come on, hurry up.
Okay, Lawrence. Lawrence is in. Darren Kelly's in. Oh, a back cut.
Yeah, he did that last time too.
Ah, sneaky.
Yeah. Hey, Dark's in. How you going, Dark?
Hey, Dark. Long time no see, mate. 2 minutes in, Robbo.
Flick, wood turning and timber creations coming.
G'day, Flick. Nice job on the crotch piece candle holders too. I like them. I cut a crotch piece out of that manna gum today, so I'll have a go at doing that later. Three minutes. Neat.
Right.
There you go,
Now
Robbo. So that was 3 minutes neat from when you did your first cut to when you put it down on the bench.
Oh, I'm slowing down.
Yeah, you're getting a bit older. That's okay.
I know. All right. Now I'll explain what I was doing with the skew chisel. Oh, come on. I can't do it with the lathe stopped. I'm used to doing it so much with the lathe running. Right.
Dark said, Robbo, you sexy Aussie.
Sexy Aussie, yep.
Dark, here's something for you, Dark.
He won't be able to see now, Robbo. He'll have tears in his eyes.
Sorry, couldn't resist that one. Okay. Now,
So Robocop's just said it took him 4 hours to do his one.
Normally I don't rough down with a skew. It's all right on small stuff like this, but bigger stuff you're asking for trouble. Now, basically, I use a traditional skew, which is a rectangular piece of steel, like that. The skew angle is 20 degrees across there. Don't ask me what these angles are here. I just make them about 1.5 times the thickness of the thing. So on this one, they're about 9 or 10 millimeters long, the bevel angle here. On my thicker ones, I've got some 8mm ones, so they're about 10 or 11 millimeters long down on the bevel there. Excuse me. Now we've got the toe here and the heel here. I don't use that term. I always use the long point and the short point, because with beginners it gets confusing, because that's also the heel at the bottom of the bevel. So you've got your cutting edge and then your bevel back here. So I always refer to it as the long point and the short point, because if you say to somebody, oh, no, bring the heel up, they're likely to bring the heel of the actual behind the cutting edge up, and that's a disaster with the skew chisel. This is a 1-inch skew chisel. It's probably the one I use 90% of the time for everything, most of the things that I do. Right, so roughing cuts, just as it says, never start at one end and run right along. A safe way to do it, actually, I know that this timber is perfect. It's got no splits or cracks or anything in it. If it did have, I would do this. I'd run backwards along it first, just to break the edge a little bit. But I never ever start at one end and run along. Always start a couple of inches in. So that by the time you get up to this end, that end is just about down to the size that you want. And then come
John
back
S.
the other way.
Castings has just come in.
Sorry?
Oh, just John S. Castings has just come in.
And then come back the other way. Now the observant ones will notice here that there's a little bit of roughness. That's caused by this back corner here. I haven't quite softened it off enough.
And Darren wants to know, what's the brand of skew you're using?
This is actually a bowler steel one. It's S7 steel. It's high-speed steel. I tend to make my own skew chisels, and the corners are all rounded over on a lineature so that it slides nice and easy. The tool rest has been polished so that it slides nice and easily. Now, when you're cutting, it's 45 degrees across here. That gives its best cutting angle. If you get it too vertical, you tend to tear the grain out ahead, and if you get it around too wide here, excuse me, you increase the risk of getting a catch up on this top corner here. So you're cutting from the halfway line down to here. The only time, excuse me. The only time that the heel should come in, or the short point, is when you work up to something like this. Like you do your normal cut of 45 like this. When you get down to this end here, if you keep going, you'd run into the next thing. And if that was a bead, you take it right off. So what you do is just slide it up a little bit and just snip it off with that. Now, if you get this short corner down, it's going to raise a thing like that and tear the grain out of the end of the cut. In fact, a lot of European Christmas trees are made like this. So you get this raised section ahead here, and you don't sand it off. you just spray it with a colour, like a green or a red or something like that. Now, when we're doing our V cuts, you've got to use this extreme point. If you don't, this is what happens. If you put, I'll just change cameras for a second. Not that one. If you try and do it down there, underneath the point, you'll get a run back like this. It'll go either way. So you've got to work with the extreme point to get that V cut in there.
Question from Robocop. Is it true that the best cut is on the cusp of disaster?
Yes, it is. Yep. If you can get it right up here, like quite often I'll turn like this, where it's just about on disaster point. But it's the way you can see there, it just caught as I took it away.
Brian just said, this is just for me.
Yeah. So always keep it down in this bottom half here. We're used to working as far as we can up there in a lot of cases, so that we get a much faster cut. It's the same when we're doing a bead, which I'll do in a second here. I'll mark this out. Now, where you've got things that are going smaller as you go down, always do the bulky part first. Don't put your taper on and then do this. Always do the handle first.
Barry Aberdeen's just dropped in.
Because you've got maximum strength up here at the moment. Now, I know that Rob CP has a lot of trouble rolling beads. It's quite easy actually, Rob. Now, the way that most people are taught to roll a bead is using the short point here and just rounding over the corner like that. Just rolling the chisel over like that. We tend to use most of the blade like a planing cut.
So Darks just said, I love the skew. When you get used to it, it's like an extension of your arm. You don't really have to think about what you're doing. You can just do it. The new units of the skew, pay attention.
Right. Okay, so to roll a bead...
Brian's just asked if you can show the bead from the side view, Robbo.
Right, why not? Itchy nose.
That means it needs scratching?
Yeah. Fortunately, I haven't got my face shield on when I'm doing this. Now, I'll zoom this one in a bit. Right. Now, you've always got to give the chisel, you can roll a bead just by going over like that. But you can see what happens on the edge here. It tears it. I'll just drop it down a bit. Oops. It tears it. So you're better off putting relief in there for the chisel to go down into. Now, I hope that the camera will pick this up properly.
Looking all right, Robbo.
It's like Beethoven. There's 3 movements. So I have to keep going this way so the camera picks up the...
Yep.
So your first movement is a twisting movement. Just twist the chisel straight over. But you've also got to lift it up because you've got a decreasing diameter. So you've got to come down into there as well at the same time. Now the other movement is the actual, and I'll get it on the overhead camera for this one. The actual movement, I'll zoom it in a bit too if I can. it also swings that way. See the blade here? Swings around there. So you've got 3 movements. It's coordination between the whole lot. I'll just zoom that back out again. Oops. And it's best accomplished if you can get it against your stomach and just rock your body across. Right, back on the other camera again. Right. So, just start the cut and roll the chisel over so that it sits up vertically. Now, that's the way that most people are taught to do a bead. We don't do it that way because we're always in a hurry. We actually use the whole blade like a planing cut. So you can see where I'm starting there. See where the shaving's coming up? And we roll it right over.
But it looks like the movements are exactly the same, Robbo.
The movements are pretty well exactly the same, but there is more of a swing on the handle doing it that way because you're starting off with a chisel out here, and it's got to come right round here. So it's right, it comes around 45 degrees that way.
Brian's just asked, can you show that again with the whole tool in the frame?
Yeah, all right, I'll try to. Oh, wait on. That what you want, Brian?
Just wait for the delay.
Yep. I'll just put in another V cut here.
Yep, that's good, he said.
Right, I'll try to keep my hand out of the way as well.
So what you're also saying with that, Robbo, is your right hand's not actually doing anything.
Your right hand, well, I always use an underhand grip. And I do assist the cut with my fingers or my thumb sometimes. But yes, I can do it one-handed. And if you really want to see something,
now you're just showing off.
a man's got to show off sometimes.
Right. Steve Hawley's just, Robbo, cut away the bead next to it so we can see the edges roll.
Yep. All right, just hold on a second. What I'll do is I'll do it down the end here if I can. Okay.
Might dad just zoom in a little bit, Robbo?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right,
so Robocop's got a question, please. Should I try to learn the bead with the short point or the blade?
Try it both ways. Because believe it or not, one way will come easier than the other to you, funnily enough. And everybody has trouble doing one side of a bead. They'll either have trouble doing the right-hand side or the left-hand side. So don't worry if your beads don't look even too much while you're trying to get them right. Yeah, this is going to end up one odd-looking figure.
And Pete Twisted Tree said, pretty sure it was Robbo who showed once that once the shaving is started, the shaving itself steadies the front of the cut.
Oh, it basically does. But what I actually said, I think, was if you're just making this sort of cut, your tool actually goes blunter. So if you're going to make a cut, take a shaving. Because what happens is, if you can imagine that this edge is like an axe, once this is in the wood, once the cutting edge is cleaved into the timber, it's the cheeks that start doing the work, or the bevels on the, in the case of a skew chisel. So if you watch a piece of wood being split with an axe, you'll find that the actual split is away from the cutting edge. It's the cheeks that are forcing the timber apart. And that's the same with a skew chisel. The skew chisel doesn't go as blunt, as quick, or neither does a gouge, if you're really getting into the timber.
So TJ Terry, is it from TJ Turning
Yeah, Terry,
on the mobile phone, so no sound and difficult to chat. So hi to all.
Yeah, g'day Terry. All right, I'll just use the roughing gas to take this down a bit more. Now, you normally cut downhill. However, on a long taper, sometimes it is better to actually slice uphill because you're working into the timber and it gives you a much more even load on it. You can judge it a lot easier. And if you take your time, you don't end up with too bad a finish on the timber.
Do you want to go back to the overhead cam?
Yeah, right.
And Dark just said, wow, look at that giant bent skew.
Okay. Now, when you're doing a cove with the skew chisel, the spindle gouge works far better than what the skew does for doing a cove. But you only use the short point. So you make a nicking like that. And what you're doing is you're actually twisting the chisel backwards this time. You go over that way to make a bead. With a cove, you've got to go in like that, like you're scooping out something with your finger. Getting into meat in the middle is a bit of a pain sometimes. There, that's better. Right. Now, if you get vibration, just put your hand over the top like that. I sit the heel of my hand on the thing here. Just run down to get the little uneven bits out. Now, Brian and I had an argument the other night, not an argument, but a discussion about the shape of the handle. He likes his handles concave. I like mine like that. Many, many years ago, I used to work. Yeah, right out, Darren. Never thought about it like that. I used to make stuff for the physiotherapy section of the hospital down in Gippsland. I had to make a lot of hand things that people held, and I used to make the handles fairly straight. And the physiotherapist, the hand specialist, actually said, no, can you make them like this, please, and like that? And I said, why? She said, well, if you get something in a straight and put it across your hand like that, there's a gap in underneath here. Yeah, don't pick your nose with a skew. Another thing you don't do with a skew is scratch your back. Don't ask me how I know. Particularly mine, because they're nice and sharp. So there's a little hollow in underneath here.
Dave from Moa Valley's in.
And when they're shaped like that, they get full contact on their hand. And another thing I see people doing when they've got to thump something, I'll just get my brad all here.
And Terry Bartlett's just come in. Hi, Robbo, from all the Plymouth Turners.
is they thump it with the middle of their hand like that, like so. Don't ever use the middle part of your hand. It's where all the nerves and tendons are for your fingers, and there's a lot of old mechanics around that have got bent and twisted fingers like that because I've damaged all the nerves in the middle of their hand. If you're going to clobber something with your hand, always use the heel of it down here. Mechanics get it because I used to thump the spanners. G'day, Rex.
Chris from Bailey Woodworks is in. Rex is in.
G'day, Chris. Right. Just take this little bit out here where I went a bit deep doing the beads and things. Right, I'm not going to worry about sanding that. And I'm not into colour or anything like that.
Philistine, Robbo.
Sorry,
You're a Philistine.
who said that?
That was me.
Ah. All right.
Justin's just come in.
G'day, Justin.
Yeah, Justin. Robocop's got a question. What speed is the lathe running and how important is the lathe speed to making things fast, please?
Right. I have no rev counters on any of my machines. This will be a wild guess. Let's see. Right, 1800. It's probably running about 2200, I'd say. And yes, the speed does make a difference when you're trying to work fast. Two reasons. A, you can remove a lot more material. The other thing is that you make a mistake much quicker so you can get on with the next bit. Okay, no. Any questions on doing a wand?
Well, you went from 2 minutes to 3 minutes to about 25 minutes.
Yeah, I'll had to explain what I was doing.
Yeah, no, no.
And when I
We're all a bit
talk,
slow.
I have to stop half the time.
Dark's got a question. If you want to read it for yourself.
Yeah.
You want me to put him in a timeout or?
Right.
Robocop's awesome demo, Robbo.
Now, I have never turned a gronk. So, I got the idea off, was either Andy H or Circular Wood by Keith the other night. And I thought, oh yeah, when I finished my wand, because I knew it wouldn't take very long, I thought I'd do a gronk. So bear with me. I'm on a par with you lot now. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I still don't know
G'day,
if you're
Adam.
on a par, Robbo. G'day, Adam. Neil,
whatever
saying,
you're
whose
putting-
design's that for the wand? It looks more like a garden planter.
I just ignore what Neil says to me.
Do you want me to just carry on ignoring him, Robbo? Or? And Ricky's got a question. Can you make a wand that glows?
I dare say if you used LEDs, you probably could, but I can't see. Or you could use Joe Sonia iridescent paints and things like that as well, that'll give the impression that glows.
Darren wants to know if the gonk's going to get real real beard hair.
No, it's not going to have no hair at all.
Rex B,
no.
is there one kind of skew that you should have? I have the cheap Harper Freight ones a small one and a thick wide one.
Well, I prefer the 1 inch one, mate. Excuse me. I prefer the inch skew. Traditional type skew. I hate oval skews with a passion. Don't get me started on it. I don't like bent, like radius skews, because I can't see the long point when I'm trying to do V cuts. We mark everything out with V cuts, and that's the only reason. The rounded over skews work well, like the round cutting edge, but they're a bit of a thing with me. So
Ben Jammin said you could make an Aussie gonk. It could have a beer and a beer hat and a barbecue, and its name could be Carl Kennedy. Neil said he was being serious.
yeah,
And,
that is a point. In fact, because they're kids, I would even round it off.
Darren's asked if we can have an offset turned one.
No, you can't.
There you go, Darren. You can't.
Just hold on. Hold on a second, Darren.
Justin's said use glow in the dark resin to make it glow.
I'll be back in half a second.
Okay.
Right. There is an offset. There is an offset wand. You cannot get these corners to blend in properly. The other problem that you have is that generally while you're turning them, it gets that thin here that they snap. So it would be easier if you wanted to make a bent one, because you can sort of keep just moving a fraction out on the centres like you'd make a banana.
Did you see what Chris put? He asked
no,
if you could make a pen-shaped one.
Darren said he's been told. Adam said he's coated a wand in luminous paint. Works great. Can't be seen in daylight and lights up in the dark. He also said he used a Sorby spiraler on the wand and put the light up paint in the grooves, and that was a nice effect.
Yeah, just hold on a second, I'll be back.
Dark, you're going to get yourself banned if he comes back and sees that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, you're probably right there, Barry.
Dark. I still
Want
have
to ban
it.
him?
I still have it. You could be in for a hard night tonight with headaches, shoulder aches.
Backache.
Right.
Adam's just put an FYI in. If anyone wants the Steve Jones skew, it's an Ashley Isles 1 inch H12 rolled edge flat skew. Rob, don't buy the handle. It's rubbish and a waste of money.
Yep, I quite agree. Like this one, this is actually, as I said to Darren before, it's Balearic S7 steel. I make my own tools or my own skews generally, because I can buy this by the metre and just cut it off and put it whatever shape I like on the end. I don't. Always have reserves just in case I hit the headstock or something stupid like that. This is a try to see the brand name on it. This is a Henry Taylor, just a 1 inch normal rectangular skew.
Yep, that one's mine. Thank you.
Now, Sid. Sounds like a bloody rainstorm. Believe it or not, this is the precursor to a P&N. That's how old this one is. This is a Wiltshire tool one. Wiltshire used to make the drills under the P&N name. So that was what they designed their P&N skew off. This one is another one that was made out of S7 steel. It's 30 mil wide. And I've got a couple of others there. I've got the Hamlet, which is rounded over on both sides, which is what Steve Jones uses. The only reason I don't use Ashley Isles, and I do have a couple of their tools, is that we don't have an importer out here anymore of them. And so same with Henry Taylor. We have trouble getting Henry Taylor tools out here. I used to buy them from the tool post direct in England because I like Henry Taylor tools. Now,
Darren's put a question in there. Can you place the steel type in the comments later, please? He's interested in making his own.
Well, I think somebody, the chat's moving along pretty quick today. Thanks, Chris. Now, yeah, I do not put any finish at all on the handles of any of the tools that I make because, well, you can see how they get smooth just by your hands rubbing on them. You get a nice patina on them. So it's a waste of time putting a finish on, in my opinion.
So, Chris Bailey's, how thick is the material for the best skew?
Well, I like 6mm skews. I've got this one's a 7mm thick down here. I think the rest, this one's 7 as well. But I prefer a 6 or a 1/4 inch. And Pat's put the right name down in there.
Oh, yeah, Bowler S7.
Yeah. No, with a wand you can do whatever you like to them. It's up to your imagination.
That
Hello,
looks
Tommy.
almost eucalypty, Robbo.
No, it's silky oak, actually.
Tommy said, hello, Robbo. Everyone in the internet is a bit rubbish, so I might not be here long. That's Tommy's workshop. Yeah. Neil, have you contemplated making a new skew out of the new steels, like knife steels that hold their edge better?
No, not really. I tend to stick with what I use and what I know.
Robocop's trying to set up a race with someone.
Right.
He's looking for someone with a handicap.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rob, when's your next live?
Dark, behave yourself.
I couldn't see what he said.
He knew a witch once that said a wand should be ribbed for her pleasure.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I'm the same, Steve. Actually, the P&N ones are very thick, and you don't have the same feel in the chisel, in my opinion, with your hands and the chisel, because it feels too heavy. which leads me on to another thing. I can't understand why people use weight and handles. It's not where you need the weight.
The Robocops just said I can go live anytime, Robbo, really.
I was going to say, Rob, if you started turning tonight sometime, I'll wait until Wednesday and then I'll do it, okay? I'll be sarcastic. That's terrible. Right, now just another thing I was going to say. When I put a chuck on, it is always metal-to-metal contact. No plastic rings, no leather rings, no nothing between the lathe and the chuck. And you've got to make sure that the chuck is dead tight. If you leave it loose even a little bit, that is why they bind up and you can't get them off. And you may have noticed I put the bar down between the jaws here and tightened it that way. I generally don't tighten using the locking mechanisms because I have seen them break through there.
So
all right.
Robocop chuckled at your challenge.
Yeah. Like we keep telling you, Rob, speed comes with confidence, comes with practice, and with confidence comes speed. But the most important thing is that you've got to keep practicing.
So Robocop said he'll race Robbo this time next year on turning a wand.
Yeah. I look forward to that actually, Rob, if you do. All right. Now, I've no idea what a gronk even looks like.
I'll stand corrected by the chat, but I don't think there's an R in gonk.
Just
Sorry.
put me up on screen, then just do that.
Sorry?
Just put me up on screen and then just get a visual of that.
All right.
So there's a gonk for you.
There you go.
Oh, thought you're being bloody serious. And Adam says, looks like you, Robbo.
Go off then.
How the hell could I get myself up? Right. Just missing the hat. No, I've got a hat. I've actually got a witch's hat. All right. Now, also another bugbear of mine. If you've got a remote switch, always put the remote out to the right-hand side. This lathe actually annoys me because it doesn't have one. So whenever I turn it on, I always go off to the headstock side so that if something flies out, I ain't going to get hit. Right. Okay, we'll rough this down.
I've got a picture of a gonk on my phone if you want to have a look, Robbo.
Yeah, that'll be good. Just hold on. I'll put you up on the screen. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, I probably won't get around to turning the nose, but okay.
He disappeared.
He's run away.
Was that? That's you did a Cade live.
Yeah. Okay.
Adam wants to know what's the agreed length for a wand.
Sorry?
Adam's just asked what's the agreed length for a wand. I think anything from 10 to 14 inches seems to be about the norm.
Yeah, they were 14 inches long with about 10 inches of taper, I suppose it'd be.
No, I just Googled Darren. Chris Bailey said the wand's as long as the length of scrap that he has.
Sorry? Yeah,
Chris
that's
Bailey
about
said. Yep.
Yeah, that's a pretty good formula, actually, Chris. All right. Now, I'm going to do
Justin's
something.
going down Dark's path, I think. You might need to make a Justin doll as well. Rex Bees, he said, ladies tell me the size doesn't matter. Rex Bees asked, can a skew be used properly one-handed? You're about to get a demo, Rex. So I'd say
That
that'd be
answer
a
your
yes.
question, Rex? Right.
Adam
now what I'm
likes
going to do...
Rebecca de Groot's comps. Terry's on his computer now, so he can hear us. We'll have to stop talking about him.
Right, what I'm going to do is offset this a little bit in the chuck.
Oh.
So this is something else new for me as well.
It's funny, fucking Dark Be's good, and then fucking Justin throws in a wobbly comment like, whoa. Funny buggers, aren't they?
Darren's happy now. He's got some offset turning.
Yeah, I did it just for you, Darren. Now, when you're using a gouge, make sure that the flute is facing the direction of travel, and the front of the gouge should be in ahead of the handle, so that you're rubbing the bevel behind here on the actual work.
So RoboCops just said if he's to race Robbo in 12 months, he should race Terry in 6 months. He reckons to be on track.
Yeah. And it's always cutting just a fraction off the tip. It's never right on the tip here.
And Dark's complaining about people getting him into trouble, but that's just normal practice, so we would ignore that one.
Yeah, Dark is just quite... Dark can get himself into trouble by himself. He doesn't need any help.
Benjamin's asking Rob why he's so obsessed with speed. Darren's asked if we can zoom this in, please.
Sorry?
Darren's asked if we can zoom this in, please.
Yeah, sure, why not? Right.
Might be a bit too much, that one.
So if we want to look at your skin cells, then that's about the right zoom. Yep. No. About there. No, well, that's about where it was.
Hey?
That's about where it was to begin with. Blame
Yep.
Darren. Don't blame us.
Yeah.
Blame Darren.
Robocop, you
Well-
might not be the fastest, but you're turning some really nice stuff out.
Yeah, I agree. And like I keep saying, speed comes with practice. So I want to put a rim on this.
So Ben's
Like I
saying,
said,
Rob, I'm probably slower than you. Does that help? Stop banging on about speed and enjoy it. Spot on, Ben. I'm just trying to picture in my head what this is going to come out like, and I'm thinking it's going to be an off slightly angled hat.
yeah. Well, that's sort of what I'm hoping for. I've no idea myself.
I will say, Robbo, the gonks I've watched being made, they normally turn the hat and the gonk as two separate things. So this will be a bit
Yeah,
of
I
an
know.
interesting look. Well, Justin just said we have a saying where he works, fast is slow and smooth is fast.
Yep.
Dark's let loose again.
You can't trust him to behave himself, can you?
He was being really good there for a while. Justin was taking over, and now Dark's just come out again.
Right, Rob. You said I would enjoy turning more if I was faster. Right. I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. Get some pieces of wood that are 2 inches shorter than your tailstock. Cheap pine or whatever else, whatever's cheap in England, or pallet wood even. Get your roughing gouge and just rip into it with a roughing gouge. See if you can do a bead and a cove with a roughing gouge. See if you can do a taper with a roughing gouge. Don't try anything fancy until you can get that quick that all you do is just rip it down in about 2 passes. And then to see how far you can turn it down to nothing. And you keep doing that until you can do it in your sleep. Then get a gouge. Then get a gouge, a spindle gouge. Do exactly the same thing. When you're confident with that, then you get a skew chisel and you do it with that. And that should get you up to speed. But you've got to put in the hours. The blokes that taught me, I did nothing but beads and coves for 42 hours. That is all he would let me do until I could stand on my head doing them. That's how you get quicker. Right. I suppose we've got to put a face on this now, do we?
No, there's a big beard. They don't have a face. Just a head. I see Silky Oak, Robbo, flick turned a Silky Oak wand Looks really nice.
I must admit, it's not one of my favourite timbers to turn, but it's just a timber I had around the place to. Well, I think everybody gets sick of me turning pine.
So Chris Dodds put, Robbo, thanks for all the info. We hope some of it sinks in with me. The beauty is, Chris, you can keep replaying the video till it does.
Sorry?
Chris Dodds put, Robbo, thanks for all the info. I hope some of it sinks in with me. And I just said, well, the beauty is you can keep replaying the video until it does.
The other thing, Rob, is that there is no tool that does the work for you.
So Flex just said she loves silky oaks. It's a little open grain for fine turning though.
Yeah. All right, let's see what that looks like.
So Robocop B&Q, is that one of your big hardware chains or something?
Yes, it is. It's one of the big timber merchants over there. Well, sort of looks a bit odd, I suppose. But sort of looks like the Wicked Witch of the East, actually.
Is that because the Wicked Witch of the West is dead?
Well, it depends on your location.
Well, the Wizard of Oz of the Witch is dead.
Yeah. That didn't quite turn out the way that I expected it to, but I can see why now they put separate hats on. But, all right. How are we going for time?
Been just over an hour. 34 watching, 19 likes.
Thank you. Yeah, well, pine in Australia, let's see, just on probably 8 or 9, maybe 12 months ago, they had a 10% increase. In the last 6 weeks, they've had another 15% increase. Yeah.
Chris Dodds.
Yeah. I agree, Chris. Gonks are a bit like wood turners, all a bit strange. Strange or odd, one or the other. Unfortunately, I'm both.
Yeah, as long as you're enjoying it though, Robbo, that's the only thing.
I do. Look, like I say, I've been doing it over 40 years, and most of the time I still enjoy coming to work.
So Ninja Man's come in, he's just said he's just learning and he's been using pine bed slats to learn because so many people throw them out.
Yep. Look, and if you want a bigger blank, you can always glue them together as well.
But I don't know what it's like other countries, but you can pick up pallets here for nothing. People are leaving them out. You go and talk to anywhere that has pallets, stuff brought in on pallets. It's a problem for them to get rid of them. You can get, reasonable 3x2s, 4x2s out of them to rip down or turn up. And it's not great wood, but it's good for practice.
Yep. Everybody rubbishes pine or any of the softwoods, but if you can get a good finish off any of the softwoods, you'll get a good finish off anything.
Steve Hawley said you can use green branchwood cuttings for practice, and that's right too.
Yep.
Dark said strange people are awesome. It's the normal people that scare him. I wouldn't know. I've never met a more normal person.
You associate too much with wood turners.
Ricky's Rocket, nothing strange about wood turners. I've met some great people through wood turning, Robbo included. Well, that doesn't mean they're not strange though, Ricky. Some of the nicest people and most interesting people I know are very strange.
Anyhow, folks, that's my gonk. Like I said, it looks more like a witch from the east, but anyway, I can understand now why they put separate hats on them rather than try and turn it one piece. I should have just turned it in one piece all the way through, but
Darren's just said it must be speed spurtle time.
no.
He's got this thing about spurtles. He must eat a lot of porridge, that man.
Yeah. I'm a Scotsman and don't eat it.
Harry
having a
Abbott
browse.
says, I am a normal person. AB normal. I don't know.
I was having a look through your channel the other day, actually, Felicity. Yeah, I love that. I like that tea light that you did in the crotchwood. That was really good out of the
That was really nice, wasn't it?
spotted gum.
She sent a picture through too, Robbo, out of the same piece. Felicity's turned some vases and they look really nice as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dead true too, Darren. In the case of a gonk, no real need to use flash wood for the body, just the hat.
Chris Dodd said, isn't a spittle? I think he means a spurtle, just a small one. Dark's looking to get banned again.
He's picking on Jay now. That's good.
Yeah, it's leaving everyone else alone.
Yeah. Thanks, Rex.
I'll have to go and have a look at that, Flick.
Dark,
Yeah.
do you want to tell me what it's like in there when you come back from timeout? And Robbo,
Yeah.
have you got your bit of foam removed from your microphone by any chance?
Sorry.
Is the bit of foam that you have wrapped around your microphone, has that been removed?
Sorry, I didn't get that because Sid crumpled up a plastic bag or something.
I think that is your hair on your microphone rubbing up against your microphone.
Oh, yeah, my beard's probably doing it. Right, sorry.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to put that bit of foam back on there.
Oh, it's still there. Thanks, Lawrence. And thanks, Terry. Well, I can keep yakking for another half an hour if anybody wants to just ask questions or anything. You go and sit in the naughty corner, Ben. That ain't happening.
He'll get divorced, Ben. We can't have that.
In fact, I'd probably turn a pen before I shave my beard off.
Oh,
You heard it. You heard
them
it
fighting words.
live. So if he rocks up on camera one day and he's had a complete shave, we know he's turned a pen, correct?
That'd be about right.
I thought you put Dark in a timeout, Jay.
Thank you, darling.
He must have come back with another account.
Nah.
May as well put your mug on the screen now, Robbo. Not mine, just yours.
Yeah.
Pat's heading off,
Yeah.
so see you, Pat.
See you,
Good night,
Pat.
Ben. Good night, Pat.
Brian
No.
said good night. Thanks, Robbo.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be in Steve's tonight. Yeah, later on in the year sometime, Steve, I'm doing another demonstration. The one last month or earlier this month was a fill-in for somebody that couldn't do it. So it was just a sort of on the spot. I got an ask about a week before the thing. I thought, oh, geez, what am I going to do? Oh, well, that'll do. Yeah, I was trying to make the hat sort of offset, yeah. But I can understand now why they make the hats separately. Now, why not?
There's a really concerning phrase that Dark's just put in, Robbo, and it's the last line is, "This is the channel that I be good on."
Yeah.
So this is Dark being good.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Neil. Ben, okay, serious question. When you're rounding with the skew, are you using the corner? No, you do it. You always cutting up in the centre bit here. Never down on this corner. All the short corner will do is rip the timber. It actually splinters the timber when you're cutting up there. But if you use just the short corner, it splinters it even more, and you're likely to just peel off a great big lump of it. So you always use just the same as a planing cut.
Barry's going.
Yeah, good night, Barry.
See you, Barry.
See you, Barry.
Steve and I have actually been taught pretty much the same thing. I was taught by an English furniture maker, so Steve and I basically work pretty much the same. And he's a bit quicker than I am these days, mainly because my hands aren't as agile as they used to be. At least that's my excuse. Could be the fact that I'm getting older too and have to slow down a little bit.
Robocop's got a question. Do you use the corner for roughing?
No. You mean... No, that's what I was just saying. You always use the centre bit here, down in here. You very rarely use the short point. Yeah, see you later, Ben.
A very good point there, Ben. Nicky's live, not Steve's live.
See you, Ben.
See you, Ben. So, yeah, Robocop's follow-up supplementary question, I guess, is to remove a lot of wood.
Yeah. Look, to be perfectly honest, Rob, 90% of cases or 95% of cases, I always rough down with a spindle roughing gouge. And if you listen to Steve Jones, he will say exactly the same thing. Like he generally roughs down first on balusters and things. It's only small things that he uses the skew chisel for to rough down because it saves changing tools. That's all. Learn to use your spindle roughing gouge first. Get him to make a fine finial. Wait on. They're too far away. I don't know where they are at the moment, but
Felicity's put a question in. Is there any benefit to rolling a bead with the long point?
no, I don't think so. It saves you having to flip the chisel over if you're using the short point all the time. And the long point, you've sort of right. I'll just show you if you like, Felicity. To roll with the long point, you've got to get the chisel over at such an angle. Hold on, I'll zoom it back out a bit. You have to get the chisel over here so far to get this around into a cutting angle that makes the body swing so far to get it round that you run the risk of easily just lifting it off the bevel. So with a short point, you can see the angle's almost there straight away without having to move it right over there to get the cutting angle. Now, what I quite often do is you'll end up with something like this. Just imagine this is a bead here.
Yeah, I've just put the link into Nikki's live stream.
Quite often, you'll end up with something like this. Just let it focus itself for a minute.
Might have to stop it for it to focus, Robbo.
Let's try it. I'll just run through the cameras for a minute. No, might have to take it back a bit. There we go.
That's it.
Sometimes you get this little thing down in the thing, down in the base of the beads. Then I will use the long point for cleaning it out. The way I do it is that I get whatever side I'm working from, just this part of the bevel here, right behind the point. So you sit that on and just come in from each side and tidy it up.
So what's your phrase there, Robbo? With a touch like an angel's kiss.
That's it. Bye, Larry. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, Flick said, thanks for the explanation. She's seen some do it and she finds it very awkward. Steve just said that's called tucking in the bead. You've muted your mic, Robbo.
Yeah, right. I see a lot of people use it leading with a long point. And they say, oh, yeah, but it's sharper. But to get the angle, you're nearly sliding right off the rest. So to get that 45 there, see how the angle of the chisel's on? So much easier around there. You've got much more control. Now, why not? Neil was saying something about the thing over here.
Yeah, the bent wand. His
Yeah,
earlier
no.
comments was yep.
I tried doing a bent one, like an offset one, and as I said, it came up like that, so it didn't look real cool in my opinion. So I didn't bother with it. Probably if I wanted to play around and draw it out so as I could get the radiuses and everything right, I could probably do it, but yeah, see you later, Barry. Thanks for coming in. All right, well, I might knock it on the head, I think. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes, so...
Yep. Cup of tea before Steve goes. And
yeah, anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions before we go? Oh, and for Rob and that, I'll probably be starting to do live tuition in about a week or so, just for the hell of it.
I do have one question, Robbo, from me is the pay rise doesn't seem to have come through yet.
The check's in the mail.
No worries. Hey, Dr. Bob.
G'day, Bob.
Bob's been one of the lurkers in the background, eh?
One of the tree people.
Well, here we go. We've got parity, Robbo. You've got 27 watching and 27 likes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll probably...
Adam's in, yep.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing them on the Saturday night rather than the Sunday night, because there's nothing on of a Saturday. There's no lives at all on Saturday as far as I can see. Not in the wood turning part anyway.
Hodge was doing one later. It was an hour after but that's much later in the evening, but he didn't do one last night.
Any chance of filming Jay camping at Black Mountain?
I deliberately didn't read that one.
Black Mountain's out of bloody Canberra. It's not in South Australia. And Adam says only my pop-ups. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's Ed finishes at about 7:30. So if you're going at your normal start time, Robbo, you'd be finishing just as Ed.
No, they'd start
at 11. Just as Ed finishes.
It'd be starting at 11 o'clock over there. Oh, I might leave it Sunday nights anyway. And Hodge was 2 o'clock in the afternoon their time, so...
Yeah, so about 10:30 for me.
Yeah. All right, folks, thank you for coming in. I hope it's been an enjoyable night. I've enjoyed myself. Thank you to our earworms. I'll bring them back in again too.
Better get dressed.
Yeah, good idea.
I don't know what happened to that message, Dark. It just disappeared.
Rob, it's dead easy. I just send you a link and you come in like... That's what happens with Sid and Jay. I just send a link to them and you don't have to pay for it. It costs you absolutely nothing. And you just click on the link and then I let you in.
But you can pay if you want to. We're not stopping you, but...
Yeah. But me as the host, I pay because I can have 10 at a time in then.
It's actually all you've got to do, Robocop, is click the link. And once you're in, if there's any other little issues, you can be talked through it. It's not hard.
No, it's the same as when you're doing a live. Only thing is you don't have the
Host control.
editing stuff and that. So, okay.
Yep.
Well, good night, folks. I'll see some of you in Steve's one, I suppose.
Yep. Good night, all. Thanks for coming in. Thanks, Robbo.
And then,
No worries.
and then we'll see a couple more in the Detroit meeting tonight.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. Tomorrow morning for us.
Yeah.
You going into that, Joe?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I
We're actually there. Yes, we were there this morning. They weren't.
Yeah.
heard.
Come on.
Buggers.
Oh, bloody hell.
Well timed. Gives it some pain sometimes. All right. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming in.
See you all.
Have a good day.
See you later, Dark.